Hi, I'm going to show you now how to use the input function. The input function gets input from the user. They enter from the keyboard. And to use it, we need to store what they enter into a variable. Now I'm going to create a variable called name. I'm going to ask the user for their name. I'm going to store it in a name variable. And to use the input function, we type input. And within the input function, we can add some text that we're going to prompt the user with to answer. So I'm going to say, what is your name? Okay, once I've entered their name, I'm going to say hello to them. So print hello, and I'm going to print out what it gave me, what's now stored in the name variable. So we'll run that, clicking run. Okay, and you'll see at the bottom it says, what is your name? So to continue on, it's waiting for the user to input their name. I'll say Tanya, enter, and then it says hello Tanya. So name Tanya is stored in the name variable that was created, and then we can print out the name variable. So I've stored Tanya and it prints out Tanya back. Okay, so the input function expects a string, or it gives us a string that it stores. So I'll show you now. If I said, let's say we want to get two numbers and we're going to add them, I might say number 1. I'm going to store the first number, so input please enter a number. Okay, and then I might grab a second number, input please enter a second number. And now you'll notice, because it's a string, have a look what it does if I do this. So if we say print numbers added equals number 1 plus number 2. Now I'm going to run this to show you what happens, and you can try this too. Please enter a number 2, whoops, I have to click in there, so 2, and a second number 3. Now you'll notice, because they're actually strings, doing number 1 plus number 2 has put the strings together. So it's put 2 and 3 together. It hasn't actually added them because they're not numbers at this stage. Input gives us a string. So what I can do now is I can actually say, no, I need it to be an integer. Around this, I can say integer. And what this does, it converts string to an integer instead. So let's run this and see what it does now. Alright, so I have to click here again. So 2, I'll do the same ones, and 3. Okay, now it equals 5. It's actually added them together, converted the string input to an integer, and now it's added them together as numbers. So the difference is, if I use input, it's a string, unless if I want to convert it to numbers, I want it to be a number that they enter, I need to actually convert it to be an integer. The next thing I want to show you is comments. Now comments are used in programming. They're not read by the compiler, they're not run, but they're used by programmers to describe their program. And it means that when other programmers come and look at it later on, they can understand a bit better about what they're doing. It's like documentation for your code. Now, this is something you need to do as part of your programs. You need to be adding in some internal documentation, which we do with comments. Now, first thing we can do is we can do a single line comment using number thing, and this means it won't read it. So I can write, this program will add 2 numbers given by a user. Okay, that's one way we can do it. We can also do multi-line comments, and we do that by adding in 3 of these. So we'll add the 2 numbers the user has given us and print those to the screen. Now, see how it's run a bit over? If I want to make it a bit neater, I can do this and close it off. So this now runs over 2 lines. Using this, I can only use it over 1 line. Using 3 quotation marks, I can run it over 2 lines. And just to show you as well, I'm going to do another one. So I'm going to write the print function, which normally would be red, and I'm going to say hello, and that won't print, you'll see now. So I'm going to run that, and everything that I've put into comments will not be read by the program. So please enter a number, 2, might be 5, 7. So my print hello was not printed because I made it a comment. Again, if I did this, now it won't print out that last line because I made it a comment. So let's have a look. Okay, and it hasn't done that last line that where I asked it to add them and print it out because I turned it into a comment. So this is something you need to be doing. You need to be documenting your programs. Now these are sort of simple ones I'm showing you, but you will be doing some more complex ones, and you need to be explaining what you're doing, even to the point of explaining what the variables are, what they're storing. You might say number 1 stores an integer, that sort of thing. So then it gets printed out, and the user that comes along knows, the next programmer is able to read your code and understand what you were trying to do.